What is method overloading and overriding? Method overloading is basically methods of the same class share the same name, but each method must have a different number of parameters. And method overloading is to add or to extend more to a method's behavior. It is basically a compile time polymorphism, whereas method overriding would be a runtime, and method overloading is a compile time polymorphism. The methods must have a different signature. It may or may not need inheritance. Method overriding would be exactly the opposite. For example, method overriding, the subclasses would be having the same method name with the same name and exactly the same number of parameters and also the same return type as superclass. Method overriding is to change existing behavior. Method overloading was to add or extend, whereas method overriding is to change existing behavior. This is a runtime polymorphism. That one was a compile time polymorphism, method overloading, whereas this is runtime polymorphism. The methods must have the same signature and it always requires inheritance in method override. Differentiate between string buffer and string builder. Basically, string is an immutable. So that is the reason why we have string buffer and string builder, because we can mute or we can change the string with the help of these classes. So the only difference between string buffer and string builder is that string buffer methods are synchronized, whereas string builder is not synchronized. String builder was introduced in Java 5, whereas string buffer was there since a long time, since the start of the Java. What is finally and finalize? Finally block is used with try catch to put the code that you want to get executed always. The keyword is always, even if any exception is thrown by the try catch block. Finally block is mostly used to release resources created in the try block, whereas finalize is a special methods. If you observe the keyword, finally is a block, whereas finalize is a method in object class that we can override in our classes. This method gets called by the garbage collector when the object is getting collected. Finalize is always executed with the help of try catch, and this gets called by the garbage collector. This method is usually overridden to release system resources when the object is garbage collected. What are the important features of Java 8? The interface changes with default and static methods. The other one is functional interfaces and Lambda expressions. And the other one is Java Stream API for collection classes, Java Datetime API, and the most important thing is for each introduction. Next one, what is the difference between comparable and comparator in Java? Java provides two interfaces to sort objects. One is comparable and the other is comparator. Using comparable, a comparable object is capable of comparing itself with another object. The class itself must implement this one, java.lang.comparable interface. This is basically interface to compare its instances. Okay, and the most important thing is we can implement the comparable interface. We can override the method compare to of the comparable interface. And let's say if you want to do a customized sorting, then we'll be using a comparator. Basically, comparator is external to the element. That is, we need to create a separate class. And we'll be using a sort method. Over there, we are using compare to method. And over here, we are using sort method. The sort method is basically used to make the customized comparison. What is anonymous class? It is an inner class without a name and for which only a single object is created. Anonymous class can be useful when making an instance of an object with certain extras, such as overloading and without having to actually subclass. It's basically created in two ways. One is with class and another is interface. And also there are three types of anonymous inner class. One is anonymous inner class that extends a class, anonymous inner class that implement an interface, and anonymous class that defined inside methods or constructor arguments. Next, what is the type of exceptions in Java? So basically we have built-in exceptions and they are user-defined exceptions. In the built-in exceptions, that is with Java provides the exceptions, we have few important. One is, for example, the arithmetic exception, array index out of bound exception, file not found exception, null pointer exception, and runtime exception. So these are the most important things. The next we'll see that in the next video.